This episode of Destructoid is brought to you by Gamefly. Coming up on Destructoid, we've received word of an Aliens Infestation. Also, we've got new trailers for Bastion and Metro Last Light, and irrefutable evidence that women play video games. All this and more coming right now on Destructoid.
Coming up on Destructoid! Oh.
That's me,
Sorry.
not you. Welcome to Destructoid, everyone. I'm Tara Long. That's
Hey.
Max Scoville.
Hey everybody, how's it
You don't
going?
get to introduce yourself anymore. You've lost your privileges, okay?
All right, well, let's get right into the news then, shall we? Okay, so if you guys follow me on Twitter, you might have seen my loud public argument with Destructoid editor and superior video game show host Jonathan Holmes about the PlayStation Vita. I forget what the argument was actually about, but the point is, the Vita is a growing topic of discussion among very important people in the video game industry. In a recent interview, Crytek CEO Kivet Yurley, whose name I can never pronounce, voiced his concerns that the PS Vita would be too late to compete with the mobile market. Now, excuse me while I read this soundbite in a horrible supervillain accent. The Vita is absolutely a fantastic platform, but it will have a hard time, and it might be too late. I love Sony as a company, and we have great relations with them, but the Vita is going to have a hard time against next generation mobiles and all the tablets. This, of course, is a growing concern these days, and personally, I think that having an all-in-one device is kind of a bad thing. There are some days where I intentionally lose my phone in the couch and play my Game Boy instead of answering calls. Meanwhile, Naughty Dog game director Justin Richmond has claimed that while Nintendo's Wii U might look cool, it doesn't do anything that can't be done with the Vita and PS3. I'm not completely sold yet that the screen isn't multi-touch. That's a little weird. It seems there are some very strange holes in it, but to be fair, the last time I was skeptical of the original Wii, and look at how that did. I'm sure that the games will make the Wii U, the games they make for the Wii U will be amazing. I didn't know that the Wii U had holes in it, but
yeah, no multi-touch things.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. It's pretty high tech, Nintendo. Good work on that. Anyway, I think it's kind of funny that we're in an age where consoles and handhelds and phones are all competing with each other.
Like, who wants to carry more than one electronic device on them at the same time, though? Really? Like,
geeks?
It just makes sense.
I feel like a spy. I can't imagine this happening in 1993. I think it'd be funny if it did, you know, like two kids being like, yo, man, my Game Gear is way cooler than your Super Nintendo, and then someone else being like, my mom has a cordless phone, it's the best, and you'd be like, shut up, Corey.
Thank you, Max, for that hard-hitting piece of journalism.
Yeah, whatever.
I have some science news to report on.
Sure you do.
Some hardcore scientific news. According to a study done by Doritos, yes, the makers of the chips.
This is the kind of story that our show is for. I love this.
Not only do 49% of women play online games, it seems that of those women, more enjoy playing games than having sex. What's funny about this is that only 84% of the women who they polled who admitted to playing games said that they actually enjoyed them. And I just have to assume the other 16% are playing Farmville or something, compared to 75% of women who said that they enjoyed taking a bath, 71% who said that they like shopping, and 70% who said that they enjoyed having sex. Since the study doesn't actually say how or where they recruited these female participants, I'll just go ahead and assume it was from an ad placed on Kim Kardashian's blog. It should also be mentioned that the study was done in accordance with the release of the new Facebook game, Doritos Dip Desperado, otherwise known as the worst thing ever.
I'm gonna pre-order this game, I think.
You toss a chip and you try to get sums or something? Who really knows? Maybe it's flavor crystals or something. The game's already out on Facebook. Go play it or buy some Doritos if you want. But just remember one very important thing. Cool Ranch or get the fuck out. I don't want to see that nacho cheese shit up in here.
I'm with you on that. I'm a big fan of Cool Ranch or Cooler Ranch, as it were. Yeah.
Well, I like the coolest ranch.
Apparently you like Dork Ranch. I wish that Cool Ranch was an actual ranch, because I would be a cowboy there just herding Doritos all day.
I'm sure it is somewhere.
Good God, this is a great show. Anyway, last episode I told you guys about Aliens Colonial Marines, and today we've got news on a different Aliens game, so I get to be excited about Xenomorphs all over again. Aliens Infestation has been officially outed by the ESRB. This was first listed as a cancelled game a while back, and then the name was revealed by the Australian Anti-Fun Video Game Banning Board. But the ESRB released their description just the other day, and it sounds like a fun game. According to the report, it's an action side-scroller where you shoot aliens. It's pretty straightforward. However, it's being developed by WayForward, who've proven themselves with DS side-scrollers like Batman, The Brave and the Bold, and Contra 4, so that's a good thing. But here's the part of the ESRB report that makes me want to sit straight up and pay attention. And I quote, "Some sequences also depict red blood spurts when human characters are killed, e.g. an alien bursting out of a man's chest, characters being bitten by aliens. During the course of the game, players can enter a locker room and see a male character whose buttocks are briefly exposed. The words ass, bastard, and hell appear in the dialogue. So it's a side-scrolling aliens game with violence, swearing, and butts."
God, I wish I worked at the ESRB.
I swear to God, this is the game I've been waiting for since I was like 7 years old. This is going to be the best. I don't know. I haven't been excited about a DS game like this ever, I don't think. I mean, anyway, there's still no official announcement from Sega, but we will keep you guys posted because...
It's funny that they're making this for the DS and not the 3DS.
Oh, it's hilarious.
It ties in with my next news story, actually, which is about the 3DS. Because if you guys needed any proof that the 3DS has been a complete and utter disappointment in the US, here it is, along with that previous tidbit that you just said. During the month of June, the 3DS sold 143,000 units in North America. That's, you know, measly, I guess. It's less than half of the 386,000 DSs that were sold in June from Nintendo, which brings the total number of 3DSs sold up to 800,000 since its launch date. Still not quite hitting that million mark, which I'm sure Nintendo thought that they would be doing like months ago. But on the bright side, Ocarina of Time 3D has done superbly well, selling over 283,000 copies since its launch on July 19th, almost 4 weeks ago. So well done, Nintendo. If you could only achieve the same standard of quality you had 13 years ago, we'd all be in tip-top shape. You know, I'm really hardcore considering buying a DS in the upcoming weeks, just because I've lost interest in the 3DS. I'm poor, as you know,
just to give Nintendo the finger.
It's so cheap now,
well,
and we've got all these DS games.
I'm actually really considering purchasing a pre-owned Wii.
Yeah, really? Wow.
That's what I'm looking forward to about the Wii U, is that they're gonna cut the prices on the Wii.
Yeah.
And I could get one that's
probably
like,
not
preferably
much,
has been owned by a child, so it has weird stuff written on it, you know?
Yeah.
Like says like Robert W. in Sharpie that's kind of rubbed off. Anyway,
Craigslist.
let's take a...
Oh
yeah, we're having a contest
3DSs.
for 3DS cases after we've just finished ripping on the 3DS repeatedly. Let's take a look at this. You've got until Sunday night, midnight, to send us your drawing to show@destructoid.com of a picture of...
the worst way to break a 3DS.
The worst possible way you can destroy a 3DS.
It doesn't have to be a handwritten drawing. It can be photoshopped or
You can do whatever you want. Just make a picture and send it to us.
Get those in by Sunday. We've already gotten a bunch of
We've
good
gotten a lot,
submissions.
and they look really cool.
They do. You want to take a second to thank
Let's
our sponsors?
thank our
before we
sponsors
do anything else?
for sponsoring this wonderful program. Gamefly is the largest online video game rental service and offers you a choice from over 7,000 new and classic titles across all consoles and handhelds. With plans starting at $15.95 a month, Gamefly members can rent 1 to 4 games at a time and keep them for as long as they like. There are no late fees, no due dates, and shipping is always free. Once you're done playing a game, send it back and Gamefly will send you the next available game on your list. If you're really, really liking the game you're playing, just click Keep It on the Gamefly website and the game is yours at a discounted price, and Gamefly will even mail you the manuals and case free of charge. Destructoid fans get a 15-day free trial when they go to gamefly.com/Destructoid.
So speaking of video games, here's a game that should be on everyone's radar right now. Bastion. A launch trailer for it just dropped today in anticipation of its release next week, which I personally could not be more excited about. At E3 last month, Conrad Zimmerman dragged me over to the XBLA booth and said, "Hey, I want you to check out this game, it's fantastic."
That's the worst Conrad impression I've ever heard.
Oh yeah, I can't do impressions, I'm sorry, I should have had you do it.
You have to see this game. Sorry, go ahead.
Nobody can do a good Conrad impression because you need the mustache to like dampen his voice. But anyway, we did a video together on the game at E3 where we just kind of explained what's going on. But just to rehash of the story for those of you who missed it, an event known as the Calamity has divided the world into a bunch of floating islands, and the kid, who is the main character who you're playing, his entire quest is to create the Bastion, which is going to be like a safe haven for the survivors of the Calamity. So the game is an action RPG. Almost everything in the environment is destructible, and the land actually assembles itself as you're walking on it, which adds kind of a neat visual component to the game, but it's also more challenging because you can actually fall off of the edge, and in certain parts of the game it crumbles, you know, so you gotta watch where you're going. But here's what's interesting about this game. Everything you do, every action you complete in the game is being dynamically narrated in the background. So they got this guy, Logan Cunningham, who's the main voice actor, to come in, and he did over 3,000 lines of dialogue for the game, which is said to provide, it should be around 8 hours of total playtime, which for an indie XBLA title is actually pretty impressive. All of this was the effort of a small indie studio called Supergiant Games, started by Amir Rao and Gavin Simon, former EA employees who left the company to pursue their dream of making a game all on their own. Of course, they ended up hiring a few more people, but for a team of only 7, the game is turning out to be quite the hit. It won like 1 million Best Downloadable Games, Downloadable Game Awards at E3.
Literally 1 million.
Yeah. Quite a lot, and it's making its grand debut during Xbox's Summer of Arcade next Wednesday, July 20th. It's going to be available for 1,200 Microsoft points, which is $15, and it's beautiful, so you should really give it a shot.
It's a game
Check
that
it
Tara
out.
Long really likes, so
Maybe
you should
give some money to indie studios.
Yeah,
That's a good thing.
it's whatever. Anyway, speaking of E3, one game that was a big hit was E3. It was Metro Last Light. I'm sorry, that was the wrong word to say. It was being shown off behind closed doors, so we didn't get to see it. Jim Sterling did. THQ is just now starting to trickle out clips of the full gameplay demo that they did, and here is one of them. Now, being a video game journalist, I'm well aware that this game is a post-apocalyptic survival horror, first-person shooter, set in the metro tunnels of Moscow, where there are warring factions and scary mutants and stuff, and you play as Artyom and Khan, and you're infiltrating a Reich sentry camp and messing some shit up. However, based on this trailer and the game's title, you'd probably think this was a game about shooting out lights and making everything dark. I would love to say that the lighting physics are really good, but I cannot see them because it's too dark. And what if the last boss was just a big light bulb? Then you had to shoot him. Okay, I'll stop. The trailer does a really good job showing off what the 4A engine is capable of, such as rendering a beautiful, beautiful minigun, which can be used to, mess some dudes up.
It does look super realistic.
It's a gorgeous, gorgeous gameplay. Looks fantastic.
They did a really good job on the lighting and stuff. It's scary.
I wouldn't say they did a good job with the lighting. I said that they.
Really?
What there is, but there's not much of it because it's dark.
Exactly, though, but that's part of the challenge.
It's the atmosphere. Look at the atmosphere. Look at the minigun. I like the minigun.
Have you found the minigun in Fallout New Vegas yet? It's in there, man. It's a good gun. Anyway, we're getting off topic here. That's all for today's news. Stay tuned next week, because next Friday we're going to be doing another live show. We haven't had one of those in a while, have we, Max?
You guys get excited about that.
Yeah. Next Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Anything could happen. Literally anything.
Yeah.
Max could finally show his tatas.
Yeah.
You guys have been begging for so long.
You guys are weird.
Yeah. In the
Tara,
meantime,
let's go have some sexual tension.
Oh, let's do it.
Have a good weekend, guys.
Have a safe and happy weekend, everyone. We'll see you guys next Monday.